Donte Paris asks, what is the best way to display my collection, but at the same time making it easy to grab and play? Also, what are your thoughts on having a collector's copy and a playing copy? So the display question first.
Well, with a display, you want the titles facing you. You want them on a cabinet, but you want them all sectioned in a certain order. Like you want Super Nintendo games with Super Nintendo games. That way, you go to that section, it's easy to grab that game. The other question is with the collector's editions and the regular edition.
Well, I want to answer the display thing first.
Okay.
For one, I do like to have mine alphabetized because I don't know about you, but like if I'm looking to play one game and it's like I can't find it because they're like my PSP collection back there is a disaster. It's not alphabetized. It drives me crazy, right?
That's funny because I do mine differently. I go by genre, like survival horror games are all together.
Okay.
Action RPGs together, stuff like that. That's how I do mine. But I tried the alphabetical order. I just didn't like it too much.
The problem with alphabetical order for me is that when I pull that game out at the bottom and then getting it back in the bottom again, or you know what I mean, it's like it's hard. See, for me, I'm playing my games, and so I'm constantly pulling them in and out, putting them back. You know what I mean? Right. That's why my PSP collection is in that shape right there, because I'm playing a bunch of games, and so they always get out of order. The other thing I want to mention, though, is that I don't really like collecting complete in-box cartridge games for this very reason.
Yeah,
because
I totally agree. Because
the games that I have that are, Super Nintendo, NES, stuff like that, are in a box. I'll go to play it and I'll be like, oh, that's right, I gotta open it up and pull, you know what I mean? It's dumb, but it's like, it's that extra level of completeness where I'm like, it's just so much easier whenever they're in a drawer. I pop them out, put them in, and they're just ready to rock and roll.
Especially with cartridges.
Yeah, especially cartridges.
Yeah, definitely. But with cardboard, you just don't want to. You don't want to touch it, because too much like wear and tear will fall apart.
And it's funny too, because then the other part of me goes, well, I could pull those cartridges out and leave them separate, but then it's
taking up room.
Well, I'm thinking about like Earthbound. It's like, oh man, if I take that cartridge out, then it needs to live in its box. Yeah, it's happy there. It sleeps in its box. It's dumb.
It could get crazy depending, but Golly, what do you think about what are you saying about having a collector's copy and a regular copy?
So I don't collect sealed games. No. The only ones I have are completely by accident. And I don't really want to have. I like sealed games; they're kind of neat, but I would never want to, But in that case, like if I had a sealed copy of Earthbound, well, actually they didn't even have cellophane on those, but like some other game,
right?
I would never open it. I'd be like, oh man, it's like if you would take off money to open that, I'd be really scared.
But the thing, what he was saying though, I think what he's getting at is like by owning both copies, you won't have to touch your collector's copy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, getting two copies of a game will take up room really fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to be careful of that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I don't have multiple copies of most games because I don't have enough room for the games I do have. There's no way I could double my collection, and I mean I'd have to put it into storage somehow, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then it's like, what's the point? I mean, unless you're going to sell it and retire in 30 years or something like that. But now the thing is though, there are certain games that I love that I do have multiple copies of, because if I see it, I'll buy it. Like I mentioned this before, but Hero on the Atari 2600.
One of your favorites.
One of my favorites. If I run across a copy of that, I do buy that if it's reasonable. Or I mean, I've run across copies of that are like a couple bucks or two, and for that game, that's a $30+ game. I'll definitely buy that.
Okay.
And I do have multiple copies of some games. I'm looking at my Xbox collection, where I have 2 copies of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
You do?
I do.
I need one, right?
Well, we could talk after.
All right.
But and some games like that. I also have 2 copies I'm looking up there of Call of Cthulhu for the Xbox, because that's a cool game.
Right.
And if I run across a copy, I'll buy it if it's cheap.
Yeah,
it's such a cool game. So. Yeah, I mean, but as far as you don't have a lot of duplicates.
No, I pretty much traded my duplicates off to like other people who might have needed the games or just to get a game I wanted.
Yeah.
But I've gotten duplicates before because I know that I can use them to get what I want. So I've done that before.
And there's some some games where like working design games, because there's so much cool stuff in there, it's like, man, I wouldn't mind having a double of that manual, or water damage or something.
Yeah, exactly. There's no wrong with having a couple like backups, you know. But just don't let it get out of hand to where it's taking up more room than it should.
Right.
Because you'll start getting like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, cool. All right, great question. This video is made possible in part by the awesome contributors on Patreon.com. Viewers like you can help support my videos and get access to cool perks like early access to my videos, ask me questions for these Tuesday videos, and much more. So check out patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks if you want to help me bring you awesome content every single week. Thanks for watching.